And it's not because they don't like the chicken nuggets in the cafeteria, it's because they had no idea what they got themselves into. So what are we doing to this kid? What did they do to me? Right? I think they were well-intended people, but if you spend all day working on something you're terrible at and you don't particularly like, how engaged are you in the system? Can we wonder why someone deliberately gets sent to the principal's office or to the nurse's office or the counselor's office? We used to do those read aloud things where it's like, you're going to be first, you're second, you're third. By some miracle, why was it that I flung a book right before it was my turn to read or said something off color? I would rather be in trouble and in the office than have my friends realize that I can't read. Forgot what it's like to be a kid? Do we know any of those people? Or they set the expectations so high, or the kid's schedule is so packed, like from 6 a.m. every day till midnight, they're packed, completely packed. They're overprogrammed, right? Like anything goes wrong, the whole thing falls apart. Do we spend time reminding ourselves and others what it was like to be kindergarten through 12th grade? I do, right? I try to remember what it was like to be a kid or a teen. Like if a kid's hungry or they're scared or they're tired, like why can't we give them food? Why can't we let a kid take a nap, right? Why can't we give a kid a hug or a fist bump or something positive for them? You know, that doesn't require like a bond issue or board approval, right? Just do that. I remember I had a guy, it wasn't that long ago, raised his hand in the middle of me talking, and he goes, like, what are we, like Howard Johnson's or something? And like, Howard Johnson's? Wow. Like, if you had said Hilton or Hyatt or Holiday Inn, I go, Howard Johnson? I don't even think there is Howard Johnson's anymore. Like, what do you think? We're Howard Johnson's? They can just nap here? Someone else said, what do you think? We're like 7-Eleven or Buc-ee's? No, I don't think that. But I think that, you know, as we see the behaviors with kids who are tired or scared or hungry, how about any of us when we're overtired? Are we fun teachers when we're overtired? Yes, you lie. Whoever said that, no, you're not. And how about this one? Because I've been there. I was somewhere in Mississippi and lunch was going to be at 12 o'clock sharp. And they said, there's been a problem with the lunch. It won't be here until 1:30. Yeah, those teachers were awesome. Yeah. So like, if they're hungry, feed them. If they're tired, let them take a nap, right? It's kind of going to this idea of Maslow Before Bloom, which falls along the lines of whatever it takes, that if those basic human needs aren't in place, it's going to be really hard for someone to focus, really hard for someone to achieve at a high level. And those are easy fixes. And no, you don't have to have Howard Johnson. Truthfully, does anyone know what Howard Johnson's is? Has anyone ever been? Okay. I'm looking at some of my contemporaries and younger, but some older too maybe. I used to remember, they used to have a restaurant too, and the Pearlman family was poor. But you could go there and get unlimited fried clams and French fries. My doctor right now says, I wish you hadn't had unlimited fried clams and French fries. Assuming positive intent or assuming goodwill first. Could that be a benefit, not just with your students, but with your friends, with your family members? How often are we already like this and assuming the worst? Does that ever happen? I guess it only happens to me. Does that ever happen? Like all of a sudden you're assuming the worst and then you find out you were wrong, right? So why don't we just start with assuming positive intent or goodwill first, right? That just kind of sets the tone for relationships and that I'm not always having that look. Somebody said to me, well, I didn't say it to the kid. Do you realize 93% of conversation are not the words coming out of your mouth? Face, body language, and tone tells the story. And by the way, kids can smell BS a mile away, can't they? I remember teacher goes, "I love you, Billy. I'm so glad you're back in school today. I know it's going to be a good day," right? And you know they're totally lying. The kid's just looking like, don't waste your voice. I know you don't like me. I know you wish I wasn't here. Don't tell the stories. Pay attention to changes in kids' attitude, their appearance, any of those things. That usually tells a story, okay? Pay attention to that. When I was a principal, I would stay outside and fist bump, high five, and bro hug 650 people on the way in the building. And I wasn't doing that because I want positive stuff to me. I was triaging. And I made sure that no kid could get to a classroom without engaging at least 8 adults. That's 8 chances of seeing someone who's too high, too low, or something that's off. And I will tell a quick funny little thing. So I'm outside doing my thing, fist bump, high five, bro hug, whatever. And a little guy's right in front of me. I look down and I'm like, cool Spider-Man t-shirt. And he went in, did the thing. Next day, fist bump, high five, bro hug. And I see a kid and I go, "Hey man, cool Spider-Man shirt." Well, I must be slow or something. It was 4 days before I realized, oh my God, I think that kid only owns 1 t-shirt. He wears a Spider-Man shirt every day. So I called the mom and I said, "Hi, Mrs. Smith. This is Dr. Pearlman. Hey, I wanted to let you know we have a bunch of clothes that have been donated. We have school swag that we put aside for those who need more clothes." And she says, "Well, what are you talking about?" I go, "Well, little man has worn the same Spider-Man t-shirt 4 days in a row." It's like, he wore that shirt 4 days in a row because you noticed him. He's making me wash that damn thing every night and wear that. A boys' knitting group, we had a couple boys that were just a big problem, fighting every recess, fighting every lunch period. And I told them, by law, I have to feed you. By law, you need recess time, but you don't have to get it with everyone else. I said, I want you to come up with something else to do while everyone else is doing recess. So the boys, one of the boys came back, I don't know, it was like on a Monday, and goes, "Hey, I thought a lot about this, and I think we should have like a knitting group." This tough guy, this tough boy. And I'm like, "Knitting?" He goes, "Yeah. I visited my little niece. She's at the hospital. She's born real little. They call them preemies. You know, Dr. Pearlman?" I'm like, "Yes, I know. They're my kid." "Yeah, they're little babies with these little baby heads." And they had run out of the little knit hat that they put on, little pink hat, little blue hat, whatever. And, you know, I was thinking about it and didn't think that was fair, that some kids with those little heads have a knitted thing and some kids with them little, he kept saying little heads, didn't have one. So I think we should knit some things for that. Found someone within our community who was willing to teach them. And then I had one of those midnight panic wake-up things, like, by all means, these 2 boys and whoever else we recruit for this, I'm going to give 2 sharp metal things to. Am I insane, right? And it didn't become that way. It was terrific. It became the cool thing and made it cool to do the right thing. And doctors and nurses and parents would send stuff or show up and say, "My kid was born 1 pound 9 ounces and I was losing hope on everything. There's a very high probability my baby wasn't going to make it. And then I got this little baby, this knitted hat with the little thing from the boys' knitting group." And she goes, "It restored my faith in humanity. My daughter's fine now," and would bring cookies or would tell stories. I mean, I'd start crying. I mean, it's so powerful and uplifting. And it became like the most popular club. Everybody wanted to be a part of this, just to knit those little pink and blue little knitted things for the little baby heads.